Hello, good morning. How are we doing? Raise of hands. We doing good? Coffees, anyone? Dr. Alok made sure I walked in and I was on the stage. He didn't even offer me a coffee. So we'll deal with that later. Where is he? Okay, he's hiding somewhere. But I flew in last night from Dubai. So it's been quite an interesting journey already. I'll tell you a little bit all about it when we catch up for coffee outside. But Taj is special. This morning is special. You all are special. And I'm really privileged to have your attention as the first speaker in the morning. Mind you, if you look at the roster, I was the second one. What were the chances, right? How could you miss this? I'm speaking to you first. So before I get started, I have a little surprise for you. And I'm very, very happy my little brother is here, who's a celebrity in himself. And he joins me this morning. Dr. Alok, where are you? I can't see you. He's in the back. We will do a little bit of an unveiling today. And before I bring the book to you, I want to talk to you very, very briefly about what this book is all about. This book is my journey to my freedom. My freedom as a woman, my freedom as a soul, my freedom as an entrepreneur, my freedom as a corporate woman, and my freedom as a girl who struggled in many dimensions of her life. So if we look at our life in general, what are the 4 key elements of our life? Let's say family. We could agree to that, yeah? Which is the other aspect, you think? Our financial well-being, yeah? You said you had coffee. Talk to me. The third one, what do you think is the third one? So we had family, finances. Anyone? Sorry, louder? Ourselves, yeah? Very good, thank you. And the fourth one? Health, thank you. You could have a fifth one. These were my 4 areas, right? And my life was slapping me across my face, literally. It was one beat up after another, which is when I found my calling, my knowing. And the girl you see here, I would like to believe I'm a little bit more confident than I was 5 years back, was all beaten up, was in a very, very low state of her life. And my purpose with the book is, if I can, so can anybody else. And if you look at me 5 years back to where I'm standing today and speaking to you, looking all, put together, I want to pay it forward. I want others to have a chance at it as well. So without further ado, while your coffee is still kicking in, I would like to present to you my book. And I would like Dr. Alok to invite a few people that he said he wanted to call on the stage so we can do it together and celebrate it together. Start on a high, and then I'll talk about the topic that I'm invited to speak about. Is that all right? Yeah? I see a lot of nods. I want to hear you. Yes? Okay. I'm looking for you, Dr. Alok. Who said yes? I'm going to put you on the spot. What was it? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. A round of applause for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And really, the book is all about, in Hindi we call it Atma Sakshatkar, right? And this was me coming to terms with my own realities and ensuring I bring it or pay it forward for others to understand that your reality is not different than mine. And if I can, you can, right? And I suffered for the longest time thinking, my story does not matter. And I'm kind of leading into the topic by talking about this because as women, many a times, if not we are made to feel we ourselves are our own victims and we start to feel our story does not matter. Or if I'm going through something, somebody is going through something bigger, worse, or more difficult and more challenging than I am, then why should somebody care about picking up this book and reading the book? Let me let you in on a big secret here. Our book is already an Amazon bestseller. Sharjah Library picked up the book. The book is listed in world's largest library in the Middle East in Sharjah. We were invited to unveil the book at 10 different events around the world. And this all happened because the purpose of the book is very different. And I think that kind of brings back to why we as women have something very special to offer to the world, right? And the topic that Dr. Alok asked me to speak about today is something also very, very close to my heart. He said, Charul, I want to speak about how women contribute to a sustainable future. If I continue to talk like this, I think I'm going to let your attention go. So why don't I ask you a few questions? If I was to bring a PPT here, which I had a clicker on, and I went slide by slide, how would you like it? Okay, that's your option number one. Okay, option number two is, I research and I pull out all those amazing stats from Google that you very much have access to, and I look all beautiful and pricey and put those stats in front of you, right? That's your second option. Or your third option is that you listen to Charul's authentic story, her unique experiences, and something that we can all relate to. Now show me with a raise of hand, who wants option number one? Who wants a PPT on the screen here? Oh, thank God, I don't have a PPT, really. Number two, who wants me to pull out those stats that you can find on Google or other search engines? Anyone? We all have access to it right now, tip of our fingers. Who wants option number three, authentic presentation? So be with me, right? And you know, it's refreshing to see it's a topic about women, and I think I'm looking around in the room, we are 50% male population here, including my brother. We came two, and one male and one female. So really, you know, what is sustainability? Does anybody have a definition on sustainability? Sir, in the first row, anyone? Sustainability? As per you, there's no right or wrong answer. We are here, a room full of very professional adults. Let's have a dialogue. What, according to you, is sustainability? Ma'am, you? Existing over time? Yeah, sustaining over time. Anybody else? Yes, please. Yes, what we do today will impact our future, right? And she brings about something very important, impact. So my next question to you is, what is impact? Anyone? We as leaders are creating impact every day, don't we agree? Me standing on stage, I'd like to believe in whichever little way I can, even one person, one life for 1 minute, I'm trying to create an impact. Now the impact is positive or negative, right? But what is an impact? Anyone? Let's go in the back, yes. Louder. Thank you. Yes, like a legacy, right? Something that you can be remembered for, right? Now, when we start to get into understanding sustainability and impact, right? And we start to break it down for our own selves, for our own organizations, for our own brands, right? When I go around talking to leaders in the world, I find them getting lost in definitions, getting lost in statistics, getting lost in what it means for them to be sustainable. And if I've learned anything, and I want to offer anything to you this morning, is everything is meant to be extremely simple. There is no better way to solve the most complex problem, but to approach it simplistically. And once we start to break that down in our own head, our approach towards very complex problems can be very simple solutions, right? We talk about millions of dollars, if not billions, being invested in different projects around the world. And believe me, we very much need that kind of money to be spent on the projects that need attention for us to have a sustainable future. But if we come back to us as women, having the authority and the power to bring about a change in the world, truly hand on our heart, are we exercising that authority? Are we exercising that power? Are we? 100%? I only see one lady, and she's going, yes, 100%. Do you 100%? Ladies in the room? I see a good number of raise of hands. And if not, I do not need an answer from you today. This is more of a self-reflection. Are we just talking the talk? or are we also walking the walk? And a biggest syndrome, especially in the world of sustainability, that I have seen women go through, they call it the say-do syndrome. Has anybody heard about it? Has anybody heard about a say-do syndrome? No, right? And it was pretty new to me. And when I read it, again, something very simple, say-do. It does not have big jargons said by this university, by this professor. No, it's a say-do syndrome. It's really like you say one thing and you do the other, right? Or you say a lot, like Charul stood here in front of the audience as a first speaker, very passionate, and she spoke for half an hour. But is she really doing anything about it? Is she putting or implementing those words into action, right? So one is you say one thing and do the other, and the other is you say a lot and do nothing at all, right? So I want all of us today to take a moment and understand how much are we saying and how much are we really doing. Because, like it or not, it's great to be standing here and talking about a lot of good things, but if we walk out of this room at the end of the day today, collecting our awards and getting those lovely pictures that we have for ourselves, are we actually doing something about it? The position and the power that we have, are we creating a sustainable impact for the future that we want for ourselves, our employees, our colleagues, our family, our children, whatever it is that matters to you? And a lot of that goes to our mindset. Would you agree? Right? And again, simple things. I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about, women power and gender diversity and inclusivity. I live in Middle East, and we go with our own flag talking about all of that, speak in a lot of great events around the world. But I asked her a simple question. And this question is for all the fathers and mothers in the room. How many of you have kids? Almost all of you. I don't, so I'll keep my hand down, but most of you, right? So when your child gets sick in the school, who gets the first call? Come on, who gets the first call? The mother, right? When you're looking at the emergency contact details of a child in a school in the record, whose number is listed first? So in a way, we are conditioning ourselves, right? And that does not mean it's good or bad. And that's not the purpose of me bringing it out. If the mother should be the first responder in case of a crisis in a school, so be it. But we are conditioning ourselves as a society, right, as to who has what role to play. Would you agree? I have another question for you. And it's like, when you start to think about a project, about a subject, wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you're looking at, it's talking to you in that context, right? So when you play a game of chess, who here knows how to play chess? My father taught me when I was a little girl. I don't play it anymore, but I get a sense of it, right? Anybody else? Show me a raise of hands. Chess. Oh, okay, there are a few. So you know the pieces on chessboard, right? Which is the most powerful piece? There we go, right? So whoever invented the game of chess, he made sure the queen has the maximum impactful moves. Because somewhere, when you play that game of chess, you are, whether we acknowledge it or not, subconsciously we're getting conditioned, right? We are getting conditioned. But mind you, there's another bias, if not a bias, an observation, which is the tallest paddle on chessboard. Louder? The king. Yes, my husband is taller than me, and most of the times our spouses are taller than ourselves. But you see the conditioning that's happening? The queen has got the maximum impactful moves, but the king is the tallest paddle on the chessboard, right? And all I'm trying to bring to you is, let's be cognizant of those little things in our work life, in our household, in our day-to-day conversations that we have with our kids, with ourselves, with our employees, with our colleagues, with future leaders, with audience like yourself. How are we conditioning our own self, and how are we doing it to others? Because believe you me, really, UN SDGs and the impact and the percentage of budgets being allocated to this and that, I really can talk numbers. But today, I wanted to make it very personal, because I really want us as women, and also the gentlemen in the room, to really simplistically go back to the origin of where really the diversity and inclusivity as a fundamental of our society originate from? And do we have the power as individuals, as decision makers, as homemakers, to bring about that little change? And going back to my book, I suffered for the longest time thinking my story did not matter. Or if I do one little thing, how does it matter? People don't care. But when you start to really take courage, take that one step, you will be surprised how impactful your journey, your thought process, your mindset can be. And hand on my heart this morning, if even one of you walked out of this room after a long day, I'm the first speaker, mind you, and the coffee is still kicking in, if even one of you left this room today with 1% or one sentence of what I spoke, my trip from Dubai to Mumbai and this morning here would be all worth it. Because that's how much of an impact we want. If it's more than that, I'll be very, very happy. But if it's not, that's fine too. But it's all about taking that first step, right? So not an advice, my recommendation, my suggestion as women leaders, right? To all of you all, as you continue to make those bold moves in the right direction for your own organization, for your own household. Any entrepreneurs in the room? I have a big smile, you can see. I've been one, right? 7 years back, decided to hang my coat and set up my own business. And oh my God, what a ride it's been. Would you agree? I see some nods, right? Every day I thought, what was I thinking? And I did not think of it so nicely. I used some languages that I can't use here. But I was like, what was I thinking? A big check, a thick check in my account every month, right? And now I have to go knock those doors from pillar to post, running around, making my ends meet. But I never felt better, right? So talking about sustainability, to wrap it up, to bring us back to the topic, from where Charul stands, from where she sees the world, and she'd like to believe she's seen a lot, if not enough, there is an immense power in everything we do, every word that comes out of our mouth, right? Sustainability is not just environment, sustainability is not just social causes, and sustainability is definitely not just economic reforms. It's all of that whipped into one, packaged into one. But do you think we as a society, if not India, globally, are doing enough to secure a sustainable future for the next generation? Forget about next few generations. Let's talk about just the next generation. Show me with a raise of hand, how many of you feel confident that with all the socio-economic, environmental reforms and the amount of money that is invested around the world, let alone India, that we are doing enough to ensure we hand over a sustainable future just to the next generation? Show me with a raise of hand, how many of you think that? I will have a coffee with you after this. One raise of hand, and I'm proud of you. Thank you. A round of applause for the lady. She's definitely doing something that I don't know. But 99.9% of the room is quiet now, right? And I want us to remember this moment, right? That are we doing enough? Are we doing enough for ourselves? It's like they say, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And if I have not done anything, what do I expect from others and what it is that I can give to others, right? And I stand here sounding all righteous is because I'm trying to fill my cup so I can continue to pour from my cup to others. And I do that by planting trees. We're planting trees and we're doing it sustainably. We're leveraging blockchain and AI. And we track every tree. We bring absolute transparency. We have included an AI chatbot. Chat with your tree. Make it engaging. Let's tick all those boxes. But let's make it happen. And did it happen overnight? Going back to me cleaning my sweat, 6 years of hard work, but it's here, right? So my recommendation to all of us is, all of us who did not raise our hands this morning, is to think about it, give it a bigger, deeper thought than we ever have. And I really hope we can make better mistakes this time. We as humans have to make mistakes, right? That's the only way we learn. But can we at least agree to make better mistakes this time, right? Learn from where we've gone wrong. As much as we want to create a brand for ourselves? Are we also, like somebody said, creating a legacy for ourselves? Are we doing justice to the future generations that are to follow? And we as women, as humans, we know we are the first responders, right? We agreed, right? If the school calls, who do they call? The queen on the chessboard. We are the first responders. And we are organically built like that by the Creator. And if the world around us is falling apart and we are not living sustainably, who should be the first responders? The gentlemen are looking here and there, and the women are not responding. Who should be the first responders? Anyone? Yeah, I would take this with a pinch of salt that you're not responding is because I've put you in a deep thought and you're thinking about all that I've said, right? But women, right? Like it or not, we are. I mean, even if you go into our brain, texture and composition and the way we are wired, and I don't want to get into it right now because Dr. Alok is already here saying, time up, she can really talk. But really, even if you go into the brain wiring, we as women, we are wired very differently. If you look at our amygdala, our prefrontal cortex, right? You go after today's event to your home and you're speaking to your spouse, what would you say? I will definitely talk to my husband and I'll say, oh, but I was not the first speaker. I became the first speaker. I spoke a lot. Dr. Alok was indicating at me. My brother made it to the event. It was a full house, like details that he doesn't even know or care. Your husband goes for an event all day. He comes back home and you ask him, how was your day? What is the answer you get? There you go. Fine. Okay. And you're like, give me more. Give me more. Yeah, I spoke for 20 minutes. Like, give me more. Yeah, the food was nice. And, you get nothing. Now, is he wrong or right? Are you overkilling it? No. That's just how we are wired. I think the point I'm trying to convey across is we are different from each other. Let's use it to our advantage, right? And as much as I want to continue to be creative, I will fail at it, and so will most of us. But creativity is never a failure. So let's be creative in our approach to sustainability. Let's be creative in the way we create impact. And like I was saying a little while ago, let's make better mistakes this time. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Thank you.